Bitter disappointment for a group of newly appointed master sommeliers. 23 of the elite wine experts, including 4 here in the Bay Area, were stripped of their coveted titles. The decision was announced in a letter by the organization that administers the exam, saying it learned of a breach by a master sommelier, likely somebody who was administering the test. Only 274 people worldwide have passed the exam since it was first offered back in 1969. And Master Sommelier David Glancy is here with me now. Now, you founded the San Francisco Wine School to help people study to get their certifications. What does this scandal mean in the wine community and for them in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely devastating for everyone in the industry. I mean, existing masters, people who are in the process, and especially the people who had their exam basically disqualified.
So what is the thought here, that the proctor gave them the answers to some things?
I really don't know. I am not on the board of directors and don't speak for the court, but basically it was only the tasting exam was impacted, and the board is coming to a plan for a fair resolution to the people to be able to taste again. We
should talk about the test itself, because when I first heard about this, I thought, well, this was probably similar to the SATs or something like that. It's much more rigid, and far fewer people are eligible for this, but there's 3 parts of the test: theory, practical, and the tasting. Maybe walk us through what the tasting exercise is so you can see how difficult it is, or the viewers can understand it better.
Absolutely. There's a movie that profiled this, Somm. There's Somm 1, 2, and 3, but Somm profiled the exam, called it the hardest exam you've never heard of. And 274 people since 1969 is a pretty low pass rate. But the tasting exam is 6 wines in 25 minutes, and they can be anything from anywhere in the world. And you have to analyze them and then identify them by grape, region, sub-region, quality level, and year of harvest.
And there's, what, 6 wines?
6 wines, and you need to score 75% or higher.
So totally blind taste test. So maybe they got word on what the wines were. Is that the supposition? Or all right. So what happens now to these people? These 23 people, they have to take the test all over again?
This has never happened before. Okay. So the board will speak to it directly, but it's just tasting portion and just these people.
Yeah. It's fairly shocking in the wine community.
It is absolutely devastating, and you know, my heart goes out to everyone who took the exam and everyone who's impacted it. Just the integrity of the exam being compromised, but the board is being incredibly transparent and showing empathy to these people. And San Francisco Wine School, we're offering to help, you know, with tasting practice if they need it. You know, building up to game shape, if you will, whenever their retake is going to be.
Yeah, and considering how many wines are out there, getting in game shape for that kind of a test is probably difficult.
And it's an investment, and we're also building a sub-fund out of our scholarship fund that's specifically to help these people.
Let's talk about that, because you have a wine education fund and a charitable event that's coming up on November 3rd that will help some of these people with the proceeds. Talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. November 3rd is our 3rd anniversary of San Francisco Wine School, and we set up a scholarship fund, the Glancy Wine Education Fund, and it's to help, you know, needy and worthy wine industry professionals get their education and credentials that will help them move their careers ahead. And we're doing a sub-fund that will help the people with this retake. We did this last year with the North Bay fire, having a separate fund within the fund, if you will.
Okay. Well, David, thanks so much for coming in. Spencer requests next time you come into the studio, please bring wine, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Fair
David.
enough. Thank you so much.
All right.
Cheers.
He asked